Hi everyone, welcome to Unstop Mathematical Solution. Today we are going to solve CSIR Net Mathematics December 2013 question paper. In this video we have only dealt with the complex analysis part. First question, question 33. Let f be a non-constant entire function. Which of the following properties is possible for f for each z in C? So they have given a non-constant entire function. We have to say which of the following option is a property of f for each z. So we look into the concepts used. Liebowitz theorem states that a bounded entire function is constant. Equivalently, we can say that a non-constant entire function will be unbounded. So we'll move on to the question. So they are given f of z is a non-constant entire function. Therefore, by Liebowitz theorem, f of z will be unbounded. So I'm taking such a function. So let me take f of z is equal to e power z. If I take z is equal to x plus iy, then I can write e power z as equal to e power x into cos y plus I sin y. This f of z satisfies the given conditions. And if we note that real part of f of z is equal to e power x cos y and imaginary part of f of z is equal to e power x sin y. Therefore, clearly we get that real part of f of z is not equal to imaginary f of z for each z. And e power z is an unbounded function. And imaginary of f of z is not always less than 0. And e power z is not equal to 0 always. We see that only f of z not equal to 0 is possible and all other options are not possible. So we'll check the correct option. So the correct option is fourth one. Next question, question 34. Let A, B, C be non-collinear points in the complex plane and let triangle denote the closed triangular region of the plane with vertices A, B, C. For z in triangle, let h of z is equal to mod z minus a into mod z minus b into mod z minus c, the maximum value of the function h is. So they have given a triangular region here and a function h is defined there. Then we have to find the point where h has a maximum value. So we'll look into the concepts used. The maximum modulus principle states that if f of z is defined and is continuous on a closed bounded set E and analytic in the interior of E, then maximum of modulus f of z on E occurs on the boundary of E. So we'll move on to the question. So they have given h of z is equal to mod z minus a into mod z minus b into mod z minus c. And the region here is the closed triangular region. So of course it is a closed bounded set E. Now I am defining a function f of z is equal to z minus a into z minus b into z minus c. Of course it is defined and it is continuous on this triangular region because this is of the polynomial function form. So polynomials are everywhere continuous and it's also entire. So it is analytic in the region triangle. Therefore, by maximum modulus principle, maximum of modulus f of z on delta occurs on the boundary of delta. So if we note that modulus of f of z is equal to modulus of z minus a into z minus b into z minus c, and this can be split open equal to z minus a modulus into z minus b modulus into z minus c modulus, which is the function h of z. That is, the maximum of h of z on delta occurs on the boundary of delta. So we look into the correct options. So the maximum value of the function h is attained at a boundary point of delta. So fourth one is the correct option. Next question, question 35. Let f be a non-constant holomorphic function in the unit disk mod z less than 1 such that f of 0 is equal to 1. Then it is necessary that. So they are given a function here defined on the unit disk and satisfies this condition. We have to find which of the following option is true. So we look in the concepts used. Liebowitz theorem says that a bounded entire function is constant. Equivalently, we can say that a non-constant entire function will be unbounded. So we'll move on to the question. They have given f of z to be a non-constant holomorphic function defined in the unit disk. So I am taking the disk as D such that f of 0 is equal to 1. Therefore, by Laplace theorem, we will get f of z as unbounded. So I am defining such a function which satisfies this given condition. So I am taking let f of z is equal to e power z. So in the option they have asked whether there are finitely or infinitely many points in unit disk such that mod f of z equal to 1. So we will check that two statements first of all. So let me take mod f of z is equal to 1, which implies mod e per z is equal to 1. If I substitute z is equal to x plus iy, we will get mod e power x plus iy, that is equal to mod e per x into mod e per iy. And we know modulus e per iy is equal to 1. Therefore, this implies mod e per x equal to 1. So, mod e per x equal to 1 implies x equal to 0. That is, z is equal to iy. That is, z is purely imaginary. That is, for infinitely many imaginary numbers in D, we have mod f of z is equal to 1. And e per z is not an rational function. So we will check the correct options. So the correct option is the first one. Next question, question 79. Let f be a holomorphic function on the unit disk D is equal to mod z less than 1 in the complex plane. Which of the following is or are necessarily true? So they are given a function f here. We have to find which of the option is true. So what we are going to do is first of all find the limit point of this argument of given for f, and if the limit point belongs to the unit disk D, then we'll replace this argument by z. So we'll check the options one by one. If for each positive integer n, we have f of 1 by n is equal to 1 by n square, then f of z is equal to z square on the unit disk D. So find the limit point of this argument. So limit n tends to infinity, 1 by n we are getting is equal to 0. And 0 is an element of the unit disk D. Therefore replace this argument 1 by n by z. So we get f of z is equal to z square on D. So first option is true. Similarly check for second, third and fourth option. So we'll do that. If for each positive integer n, we have f of 1 minus 1 by n is equal to 1 minus 1 by n whole square, then f of z is equal to z square on the unit disk. Find the limit point of this argument. So limit n tends to infinity, 1 minus 1 by n, which is equal to 1, not an element in D. So this option is not possible. Third one, f cannot satisfy f of 1 by n is equal to minus 1 whole power n by n for each positive integer n. So find the limit point of this. So that is equal to 0, element of D. So replace 1 by n by z. So we will get f of z is equal to minus 1 whole power n z on D. That is f of z is equal to z for n being even and minus z for n is odd. That is function is being split into two functions. So that implies f of z is not differentiable. So f cannot satisfy such an f. So third option is correct. So now we'll check the fourth option. F cannot satisfy f of 1 by n is equal to 1 by n plus 1 for each positive integer n. So find the limit point of this argument. So we are getting that is equal to 0, element of the unit disk D. So replace 1 by n by z. Before replacing, first of all, just rearrange f of 1 by n so that it is easier to replace. So that is what we are going to do here. So f of 1 by n is given to be 1 by n plus 1. I am taking n common from the denominator. So this is equal to 1 by n into 1 by 1 plus 1 by n. Now replace it by z. So we get f of z is equal to z by 1 plus z on D. That is such an as f exists on D. So this option is wrong. So we'll check the correct options. So the correct option is first one and third one. Next question, question 80. Let f of z is equal to z minus 1 divided by e power 2 pi I by z minus 1 then. So they have given a function f here. We have to check which of the option is true. So we will look into the concepts used. Poles are obtained by equating denominator to 0. If limit z tend to z0, f of z exists finitely, then z0 is a removable singularity of f of z. If it exists infinitely, then z0 is a pole of f of z. If it doesn't exist finitely nor infinitely, then z0 is an essential singularity of f of z. If limit z tends to z0, z minus z0 whole power m, f of z exists finitely and is a non-zero number, then z0 is the pole of order m for f of z. If z0 is the limit point of 0, then z0 is an isolated singularity. If z0 is a limit point of pole, then z0 is a non-isolated singularity. So we'll look into the question. So they are given f of z is equal to z minus 1 divided by e power 2 pi I by z minus 1. So pole is found using by equating denominator to 0. So e power 2 pi I by z minus 1 is equal to 0, which implies e power 2 pi I by z equal to 1. We know for 2n pi I, e power becomes 1. So this implies 2 pi I by z is equal to 2n pi I. So from this we are getting z is equal to 1. Essentially these are poles of order 1. So these are symbol poles. So now we have limit n tends to infinity 1 by n is equal to 0. That is 0 is the limit point of poles. So 0 is a non-isolated singularity. So consider now limit z tends to 1, z minus 1 divided by e power 2 pi I by z minus 1. So when we apply limits directly, we are getting 0 by 0 form. So we are using L'Hospital rule. So this is equal to limit z tends to 1 by 2 pi I by minus z square into e power 2 pi I z. So when we apply limits now, we are getting this is equal to minus 1 by 2 pi I. So this is a finite quantity. So this implies f as a removable singularity at z is equal to 1. So now we'll check the correct options. So the correct options are 2, 3 and 4. Next question, question 81. Let f of z is equal to 1 plus z divided by 1 minus z. Which of the following are correct? So they have given this function here. We'll check which of the option is correct. So we'll look into the concepts used. F of z is equal to az plus b divided by cz plus d is bilinear transformation such that a, b, c, d element of R. If AD minus BC is greater than 0, F maps imaginary Z greater than or equal to 0 to imaginary Z greater than or equal to 0. And also F maps imaginary Z less than or equal to 0 to imaginary Z less than or equal to 0. If AD minus BC is less than 0, F maps imaginary Z greater than or equal to 0 to imaginary Z less than or equal to 0. And also F maps imaginary Z less than or equal to 0 to imaginary Z greater than or equal to 0. So now we'll move on to the question. So they are given f of z is equal to 1 plus z divided by 1 minus z. So let me take this is equal to w. So when we take this as w, then we'll cross multiply. So this implies w into 1 minus z is equal to 1 plus z. So write the terms of z in LHS and all other terms in RHS. So we'll get like this. So therefore we are getting z is equal to w minus 1 divided by w plus 1. So in the question they have asked f maps mod z less than 1 to which region, and also f maps mod z less than 1 onto which region. So we'll check that. So consider mod z less than 1. So we got z is equal to w minus 1 divided by w plus 1. So substitute here. So this implies mod w minus 1 less than mod w plus 1. So I'm taking w is equal to u plus iv. So this implies u minus 1 whole square plus v square less than u plus 1 whole square plus v square. So when we simplify this, we are getting minus 2u less than 2u. That is minus 4u is less than 0. So multiplying this inequality by minus 4. So we'll get this implies u is greater than 0. That is in w plane mod z less than 1 is mapped to the real part being greater than 0. That is mod z less than 1 is mapped to real part of z greater than 0. Similarly, we can show mod z greater than 1 is mapped to real part of z less than 0. So also we are given f of z is equal to f1 plus z by 1 minus z. So I am rearranging so that we will write in the general form, that is az plus b divided by cz plus c. That is what is written here. So we get a is value 1, b is 1, c is minus 1, d is 1. So ad minus bc is equal to 1 into 1 minus of minus 1 into 1, that is equal to 2. So AD minus BC is greater than 0. So greater than 0 means imaginary z is greater than 0 is mapped to imaginary z greater than or equal to 0, and imaginary z less than or equal to 0 is mapped to imaginary z less than or equal to 0. So now we'll check the correct options. So we got mod z less than 1 is mapped to real part z greater than 0, and mod z greater than 1 is mapped to real part z less than 0. So we got first option correct, third option wrong, fourth option wrong, and we got imaginary z greater than 0 is mapped to imaginary z greater than 0. So the options 1, 2 are correct.